Hi, heads up. Major spoilers for the entirety of Deltarune, especially the secret boss of Chapter 5. Hello. I'm the Basnik to underscore 113, or just Nico, and I'm here once again despite what I said from my last scripted Deltarune video. Because, having played Chapter 5, I noticed a topic I haven't seen someone make a video specifically detailing it so far. Time's repeating, huh? It's not like a big thing that could warrant a huge theory or analysis video. It's something I feel is not hard to connect the dots by yourself either. But I thought it is still a topic worth pointing out for those who haven't, in a smaller scale video with way less theatrics and way less everything compared to the other one. Even though it hurts cause this chapter has so many quotable moments. And just like last time, there will be indicators in the corner for whenever I'm talking about stuff. Intro over, now into the video. Now I know, a lot of us are still feeling the recall from having fought Pink and her Biku blasting all over the place, that a lot of us are still wondering, you know, that was a really fun flashy fight, with the Biku stuff and the people callback stuff and the dating sim stuff, but what was actually the point behind all of it, and the reason for her to be a secret boss? Other secret bosses had some really interesting lore, characters, and the implications they span on. So what is it with Pink? Actually, I have another question. Why was Puppet and Cat Elements paired together in the first place? I know people will mention the Spamton and Friend connections, which this chapter has also strengthened more, but I want to consider other avenues for it, particularly because this chapter remarks on the Spamton Pink side of it, with reminding us the mannequin in particular can protect against both, a mannequin that obviously is physically similar to Spamton, but could also be connected to Pink, as she's also related to dummies which are similar to mannequins. Actually, I'm pretty sure they use mannequin at some point to refer to dummies, but I cannot remember. So what is it between this spammy salesman and this Pink cat girl? Well, many took notice back then of the peculiarly green color strings that appear on Neo. And now, we also had those same strings appear at the end of Pink's battle. Meaning, this is now a repeating pattern meant to connect something about them. So why don't we, shall we? Starting with Spamton, since I imagine most people are familiar with his side of the coin, and we don't have to spend as much time with him. Spamton used to be on top of the world, surrounded by riches, fame, and loving TV husband. But his success was never his own, it was always tied to his benefactor helping him on the phone. And when he promised to share his methods with Tena, something he was not supposed to, everything came crashing down. His benefactor put the plug on him, and as they were responsible for his success in the first place, it immediately caused him to lose all he had. And to cap it all off, he received one final phone call. Actually, there's two, which I don't see talk as much. One after signing Tena's contract before he started going down, that ended before Tena could pick up. And another one when he was to be evicted from the mansion, where you could still hear someone on the other end. But whatever. What he heard in that final phone call made him go insane and paranoid, leaving the trash, trusting no one, and even becoming to resemble more like an actual ventriloquist puppet. Obsessed with attaining power enough to break his own strings, first through the Neo body and later, ironically, through the soul, both resulting in failure. People were quick to notice back then, and the game also pointed to it heavily, how this was meant to be a parallel to Kris, the unwilling puppet who feels trapped at the mercy of the one above them, unable to escape. Though the strings only appear when going Neo, there's the implication that Spamton has, and will always feel trapped mentally, with Kris being in the immediate, more literal sense. And now, adding on to this, we also have Pink, who also parallels Kris' situation, but from a different angle. As we are told, Pink is a unique case of a ghost lightner possessing a doll turned darner, two entities, a soul and a body, two very different wills inhabiting the same person. This is just Kris and us, I don't have to state the obvious. But it goes further than that. Pink despises her body acting on its own, calling what it wants stupid and that it has to do what she wants, refusing the dates as she's jealous and afraid of losing herself, eventually even leading to them splitting up due to indecision. Very similar to how we don't agree whenever Kris does things very much against our wishes, and even ripping us out to do so, completely negating our ability to protest. But the pink fight wants to show us something else. As this disagreement and fighting continues, it ends up causing the body incredible harm. It cannot do the dates alone, it needs the ghost to stop to survive, and the ghost doesn't want to lose the body she's so happy of finally having. The freedom of being that someone she always wanted to be. While she keeps insisting she should just get rid of the party then, Rosie points out, shouldn't the other person in this relationship have a say too? It has its own likes, its own dislikes, and from that newest interaction is very much its own person who knows more than he lets on. Even if neither of them wish to be stuck like this, all they can do is learn to understand and cooperate with one another to make the better out of this situation. Notice how I'm not using a specific wording for this either. Well, yes, we are taking away Kris's agency by controlling their body, which is a no good at all. Just like how in Pink's situation is mostly on the ghost to do the right thing. But Kris and us is a bit different. I didn't pick Kris or ask to be here. We simply are to observe as Kris continues to work behind Susie's back despite how much she trusts them. We don't know what situation Kris might be tangled in with Carol and the Knight, but it's not like we or Susie are allowed to know or have an opinion on it. And we don't know if it's just that they're not allowed to, or just don't trust we or Susie will understand. If it continues like this, we'll never be able to reach a mutual understanding. We and Susie cannot help Kris through whatever they might be going through if they won't let us help. And Kris cannot keep trying to do this by themselves without pushing their body to its limits until it's too much. Just as the Pink Fight foreshadows, and as we are shown at the beginning of the chapter, communication is key. And the way things are going, the only way both of us are ever making it through. And that is the why of the green strings in these particular moments. They are a direct link to the concept in Deltarune of something, being intentional or unintentionally, taking control of the body that used to have its own autonomy, but no longer. Strings whose color is the same to the Chapter 1 menu and the battle box, which are also related to the ways in which we interact with this world. And the two main characters meant to reflect this show us two very different outcomes to where things are heading with Kris. Spamton, being the one whose strings are casted on him by an outside force, propping him up by his shoulders, holding him high in the air, represents the worst case scenario, where in a desperate attempt to cut ties with this entity, all by himself and by any means necessary, ends up falling limp on the ground, powerless, realizing he'll never be strong enough to free himself. A friend even pointed out how his regard of the Neo body might be relevant to his rhetoric too, as he only views it as a tool he can steal for his goal. Pink, who's casting the strings from her fingertips, but also seems restrained by them, represents on the other hand a better, more hopeful outcome. One where the soul has no ill will towards the body, and when put with a choice, she takes action by her own hands, and decides to save herself and her body, treating it like its own person, and respecting that. Learning to understand one another despite their differences, and choosing to exist in harmony for their sakes, as fighting will only result in disaster and the destruction of one of them. So, I guess all this is to say, whatever happens in the future between us and Kris, the better or worse, I feel like it can be certain the green strings will be there once again, as a thematic connecting string of this entire plotline. That yes, I'm pretty confident it's meant to represent body dysmorphia. I mean, look at the mirror dialogue. And that's all that he wrote. As I said, this was a way lot shorter video compared to the last one, But this isn't really a topic I could stand for doses of minus on end. I mean I could, but I didn't want to, nor I have time for that. Remember to do all the usual stuff, liking, subscribing, hitting that bell, I don't have a graphic for that, follow me on my other socials where I upload art, and hey, I have a coffee now, if you wish to share some support for the work done here, and make it feel like I'm not just wasting my time instead of doing something more productive. And who knows, maybe that will even motivate me to work on another video, on and off while at university in the future. Future which, I gotta be honest, I did think last scripted video was gonna be the only one for a long while. But I guess that's the thing about plans, that they only get you halfway through. Anywho, thank you for watching, have a great one, and that's all folks!